Ash here coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. I am not alone. I'm joined by Nub, Kex, Nub Raids. Nubs, what's up, bro? How you doing?
Hey, I'm really good. It's a beautiful rainy day in Ireland. It's been raining nonstop for 2 months straight here right now. But,
yeah, we were talking. You're like dealing with tons and tons of rain. I'm dealing with tons and tons of snow. So we're jealous of anybody out there who's chilling in nice, beautiful, sunny weather out there. But first of all, it's been a minute. How are you doing? Are you enjoying the game? What do you think of Assassins? Give me your 10-second your synopsis here.
10-second thing. I mean, well, right now, the day we're recording, they've just announced Bayek coming, guaranteed, but only for winning Champion Chase tournament. Yikes.
Indeed.
I've got him. I'm happy. I have him. I pulled him.
I saw your video on him. I have him too. I didn't get Solinar though, did you?
I didn't get Solinar, no.
Dude, this guy in the arena, bro. Have you faced him a lot in the arena?
I fought him a few times, yeah. Most of the time he's been fine. I think people have been trying to force him into drafts in live arena and don't quite know what to do. Yep. I did fight one person and I had Nell. And he gets so many buffs.
Oh my god,
just
dude!
Feeding him buffs. I
got
destroyed.
So...
It was hilarious.
I don't see him a ton. I mean, a little bit in live arena, but I went for the platinum push this last week, and I started avoiding his teams because like you just don't know with that comeback move that he has and just wiping your whole team out. But suffice it to say, Nubs, transition here. We didn't get him wrong. He's powerful, right? But this video is about champions that we did get wrong. I like to do these videos with collabs from time to time here because it's always nice to hear someone else's perspective. We have not shared our list ahead of time, so you're the guest, Nubs. Who did you get wrong first?
All right, let's go for, let's start with a very spicy one.
Ooh.
This is Trunda. Because Plarium came out, right, and they nerfed Trunda. One of the only times they ever nerfed a champion, reworked her. And I remember when they did it, I was really positive. I was like, okay, they've actually pulled the trigger. I'm sure it's going to work out great. This is going to be great. I thought this was going to be brilliant. And then, of course, we very quickly realized nothing had changed. And she was still exactly the same. And all of my high hopes and my bright-eyed, bushy-tailed optimism that they'd done a good job here just disappeared. And I said, wait, it's maybe not only the same as it was before, possibly it's even worse. And now Hydra's even more imbalanced.
I like that angle, man. I remember, too, after they did that balance change, I remember everybody's like, wait a second here. Wait a second. She's going to be a beast in the arena again, too. But, like, she's really not... you know, I mean, I guess she's okay for progression, but she doesn't like emerge as a meta pick in the arena either. But she's still the same disgustingly powerful Hydra champion. Everything's the same. You're totally right there. They don't nerf anymore. We're going to have a conversation on Nub's channel about power creep and stuff like that. I'm sure that will come up. They don't nerf anymore really in the game. I wonder if that's a good or a bad thing. Well, we'll talk about that later. That's the teaser. You know, that's a cool choice. I like that you chose somebody after the balance change. I'm going to go ahead and do the same. I only have one mythical on my list, but it's actually the Calamitus. So the Calamitus, I knew he was a beast after his buff in like Hydra and PvE content. That wasn't obvious. He's like one of the biggest nukers in the game when it comes to PvE. But man, I thought he was never an arena champion. And I don't know if you used him in the arena, but holy smokes, man. You don't use his second form in the arena. I was talking to, I got to give my man Cruisen credit for this because he was looking at my account. And he's like, dude, why don't you use Calamitus in the arena? I'm like, Calamitus in the arena, bro. Now this has emerged. I've seen a few people like doing this, but dude, he's an arena beast. The A3 on his base form smacks. The A2 on his base form can remove material from whoever on the quad hit. And then his A1, though, that's the magic. Because if you lock him out, it really hits hard and you get an extra turn after you kill an enemy. So against lockouts, he's really good because he can go in there and he brings his own shield and increase attack before every turn. So the Calamitus in the arena is just nasty. So that's my first pick. I didn't think he was an arena champion at all, and boy, he's been so much fun to use. Do you have him, by chance?
I don't have him, no. Okay. I was thinking, actually, I mentioned Bayek at the start of the video. This guy, he's got that A3 that's always critical, and that bypasses Bayek's passive, which is cool. Does it work through Enfeeble, or does Enfeeble force it to be weak hit?
That's a great question. I don't know. I'd love to tell you. I'm not sure what would take precedent there, honestly. We'll have to try it out sometime because I just started using him like 3 days ago in the arena. But he's just, he's this A3 in PvE. You know some skills, they don't hit that hard in PvE, but then they smack in the arena and vice versa. This is definitely one of them. And yeah, every move that he has is only the 80% crit on him anyway, because everything has a 20% on that base form, and then that last one's always critical. So yeah, Calamitus, man, I love that dude. Who you got next? You said you had a mythical or two on your list, right?
Yeah, sure. I can jump straight to a mythical.
You want to.
Let's go for Arachoa, because she's new.
Okay. Do you have her?
No, I don't, but I really wanted it. So I was really harsh on her when she first, like in my first impressions video, you know, we just see the kits and reading through them. I was quite disappointed by her, quite underwhelmed. And then I kind of thought about it and was looking at her kit more afterwards. And I was like, actually, there's a few things here I really want to test and some great potential. So I actually got her on the test server, and I spent like a decent amount of time actually testing her out as much as you can on the test server, right? There's no live arena, etc. But if you look at her reviews in game, right, they're really poor. People really don't like her, but especially because we're going into the Plarium anniversary, and there's the whole like, will they bring back old fusions? And like, if they brought back old fusions, obviously Nuke will be way up there, what people would want. But I mean, on her alternate form, right, that A2 triple hit enemy max HP on a 3-turn cooldown.
Yeah.
And it's also as well giving her loads of turn meter, and all of her moves are giving her potentially loads of turn meter.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, hang on a second, if Nuke is like this 5 out of 5 incredible, one of the best legendaries in the game, this mythical is literally Nuke on steroids. She's way better for any of the bosses than he is. Like, she can't be that disappointing, right?
I forgot who I was talking to, but I don't have her either. But it turns out she's one of the best Chimera like raw damage dealers out there too. And when you put her on a counter with a counter attack, she always uses the enemy max HP. Like, that's disgusting. Let's say like having a triple enemy max HP on the A1 is kind of bonkers. So I agree with you. I too, honestly, don't have her, but was kind of negative on her as well. So I also owe her an apology.
I'll say I do want to come back to her, because obviously I tested her was a month or two ago, but people are started building Mercurial since then. So testing her out now over the next couple of months as Mercurial is just more and more common. Like in that alternate form, she got a quad hit, she got a triple hit that triggers any counterattack as well, and then a double hit A1. Like, she is gonna rip through Mercurial, and her damage is really high, so she could potentially kill people. Like, if you remove even 1 stack of Mercurial, they've got 2 stacks of total guard, she might easily kill even a pretty tanky champ with that A3 if she gets 2 hits through, for example. So,
and she also has a Calamitus extra turn on that A1 if she gets a kill, so you could kind of get an easy kill on that A1 maybe against a magic champion. And then you could go in, and if you get 3 critical hits, you get 45% turn meter on that A2. Little chain reaction stuff going on there, you know?
Yeah. So she's pretty interesting. I think she's massively one champion to watch in the future. And like, you can, again, you look at the reviews, and I think people, most players would pull her, look at the reviews, and be like, oh, no, this mythical sucks. Is it even worth building them? Be really depressed. It's like, no. Like, seriously, try her out. This champion has loads of potential and actually a massive amount of areas in the game.
Yeah, you know what? I did a mythical tier list, and I kind of regret doing it, honestly, recently on the channel, because they're all freaking good, man. You know, like, I mean, well, people are going to be like, yeah, right, Frolny and stuff, but like, or whatever, and Zorad. But like, they're mostly all really good, you know, and a lot of accounts can use all of them, you know?
I've got a 6-star Frolny. He sits in the vault for Faction Wars. He doesn't even make the Faction Wars.
Doesn't even make it to Faction Wars? Oh, man.
That's bad, man. Yeah,
I can see, but if you're in progression mode, though, like even Frolny, I'm sure, would be a great, you know?
I mean,
but he's still not the guy you want to see, right?
Yeah, he's not bad. There's just better options.
Exactly. All right, we've gone mythical heavy here. I'm going to go with an epic, man. I have this massive love for a champion that I didn't really think much of in Diana Gloompiercer. When she initially came out, she was part of a fusion. I forget which one, honestly. Do you remember?
No clue.
Okay.
No clue.
Okay. She was part of a fusion. I just mindlessly fused her, and that was that. But man, oh man, I love Diana. Like, I put her close to Fat Man. Not quite Farrakhan the Fat, but when it comes to ally attackers, I love her because it's a 3-turn cooldown on this ally attack on the A2. It's 2 allies, but she also has, if they're under ignored defense, ignored 20% of defense, all the attacks, right? So you put her with hard A1s. She brings the decreased defense on her own A1, and then she brings increased crit rate, increased damage, and a hard-hitting AoE on a 3-turn cooldown on the A3. To me, you can get a lot more damage out of ally attacking with Diana Fire Knight situations or anywhere really. Ally attack is so formidable everywhere in the game that I just think people sleep on Diana so badly, man. I think she's one of the coolest epics out there, and really I would take her over like a Creela Witch Arm, a lot of like legendary ally attackers, just because of that ignore defense and the 3-turn cooldown. Granted, Creela has a 3-turn too, but I just really love her. A lot of damage, and I feel like she's kind of like Morag and kind of like Farrakhan, kind of the top of the class of ally attackers amongst epics.
Speaking of mythicals, I have all 3 mythicals from the Sylvan Watchers.
Damn, Nubs. I do too, actually. Sorry, we're both stupid pay to win.
I only have like 7 of the legendaries.
We're so relatable.
Almost as many mythicals as legendaries in this faction somehow, but yeah, so I haven't needed really to use her much, but I see what you're saying. I assume as well that with her A2, if she places the decreased defense when she does the A2, that it would then boost up her ally damage as well.
100%. Yeah, 100%. So, and yeah, so what you can do is just position her pretty early in the rotation. That way she has that chance of landing it if you don't have another debuffer on the team first. Sick. So yeah, really cool.
Oh, let's go for another spicy one. Let's go with Cassandra from the Argonite.
This is a spicy one. Dude, this poor faction, man. They better do something on the anniversary because it's looking pretty naked over here.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm definitely expecting some stuff. So with Cassandra, the video I did on it, I think was really good, if I say so myself. I think it was very fair. I do regret the thumbnail because the thumbnail was like, she is terrible, and I became like the poster boy for all of the anti.
I mentioned you, by the way. I mentioned your thumbnail
in the video.
Because I just thought it was so funny because you were like, she is terrible. Like Jedi was, she's okay, and then Bronco was like, she's the best, and I was like, what the frick?
You know, I thought she was bad for a fusion, and I think for 2026, I think she's pretty disappointing. But I was like, all right, she does have a place, but she's disappointing. And I think her best places are still to come, right? Where it's like the Argonite's faction crypt, if they ever enable them in Cursed City, Chimera auto battles. It's like all this stuff in the future. Will she still be relevant? I don't know. She might actually be okay a bit against Mercurial, but it's like a little bit wrong. That thumbnail was probably a mistake. Like
we've all had them, brother. yeah.
It's the thing with the YouTube titles and thumbnails, you know, you want them to be catchy, and sometimes you do too good of a job at that, and you're like, oh god, I went too clickbait. What have I done?
It's all good, man.
So yeah.
Dude, I've kind of gone. I hate to admit it because I'm gonna get grief. Whenever you talk smack about any champion, people really hate it. But like, I kind of gone the other way, man. I kind of respected her when she came out a little bit more than you did, and now like. I think to your point, though, I think when Faction Wars opens up, I'll definitely be using her, obviously, and maybe I'll cultivate more of an appreciation. I think she's interesting, you know, and obviously every account's different. Like I don't need her on my account in anywhere, so it's hard for me to judge. But I don't know. I think it's probably that she was the first Argonite that kind of like, oh man, you could have done a little bit better.
Yeah, sure. Well, I do wonder, like, with anyone who said that like she's absolutely amazing, are any of them actually using her? I don't know. I doubt it.
I'm sure we'll hear from them in the comments. So let us know, honestly, what is your, especially if you use her, what is your assessment? Why do you love her in the comments? I'm gonna go with a dwarf, Granite Doorkeep. Nice. I thought Granite was going to be good, but he's better than good, man. I think this guy just an absolute monster. I went for him, so it wasn't like I said, skip or anything like that, but holy smokes, man. It's weird. You ever fuse a champion and then you just don't use them for a while for whatever reason? You don't build them. You're waiting for a champion training tournament or CVC, and it just ends up being a while. That's what happened with me and Granite, dude. And like, my man can smack. Demolisher Blow is just insane. He brings Shatter, which is so hard to find. He ignores Stone Skin. He's immune to CC. He removes them at the beginning of his turn. He's got a hard-hitting A1 with ignore defense, removing buffs. I mean, what was I thinking for not making a bigger deal about this dude when he was released is my question to myself. But, man, I love Granite Doorkeep. I have him built. I don't use him, like, a ton, but I do use him as a niche pick. When I'm going against a lot of force in the arena, or even a lockout champion. He's very good against Fabian because he can't be feared or true feared. And even if you lock him out, he still has the ignore defense on the triple hit on the A1. So, man, and in PvE, anywhere I need massive damage, Grant is going in there, man. I love this guy.
I'm sure there's one champion. I'm guessing both of us might mention Predator.
Oh, okay. I should mention Predator, but he wasn't on my list. But yeah, do you want to go to him then? You want to move on over?
Well, let's mention him alongside that, because I think it's a similar situation, but with a different thing, where with Granite, I think both champions had like a glaring weakness that made people, including me, like really underestimate them at the start, right? So with Granite, we went in and like I tested his damage. I was like, okay, yeah, his single target's great, but God, that AoE is dreadful. It's really weak. And then that big weakness, I think, really made a lot of us underestimate the champion. And same with Predator, but while he had an incredibly good AoE, his big single target block revive.
I thought you were saying that Predator's AoE wasn't good, and I'm like, dude, what are you talking about, bro?
Yeah. His AoE is crazy.
I got you.
With
Granite,
the A3 was a bit weak, and I was like, well, that big block revive, Hunter's Gaze, wow, that should be really cool. It's like, it's kind of rubbish. And that sort of made, I think, as well, a lot of people underestimate Predator. And like you said, with Granite, like overlooking that crazy single target damage, and with Predator overlooking the crazy AoE damage, and then obviously the passive for him is nuts as well. But
I agree with you, and I agree with you on Predator too. Like I thought, I'm sure similar to you, like I thought he'd be good. I thought he was a really good champion, but I didn't think he would be top of the meta in the very beginning like he is. You know?
Yeah. Same.
I can say the same thing about Tholan. Like I'm not gonna get into it, but like he's better than I kind of thought too. Like he can really dish out some nasty damage, man.
I'm gonna go with maybe a slightly boring one, but Draco's Turn Drake.
I don't think it's boring there.
Yeah, I mean this guy.
I don't have him. How about that? I didn't go for him. So tell me why I'm wrong.
So he's like visually he's insane, right? Like oh my god, he looks so sick. He's very sad he doesn't have a burn somewhere in his kit, but. I remember when I was reviewing him, I was really excited about him because I was like, okay, AoE decreased defense and block buffs, great, and it looks like it's going to do some nice damage, cool ignoring defense. He's got increased defense and block damage, wow, great. And the A1, ignoring defense, is going to hit hard, cool. And he's got not a terrible passive either, wow. This looks like a really good legendary. This is a great event legendary. Here we go.
Yeah.
And now looking back at it, I don't know how you feel about him, but I'm kind of like, he's all right, you know, but
well, I didn't go for him, so
yeah, right. I think part of the problem was I think Granite was actually one of them. They released a bunch of decreased defense block buff champions back to back. Draco's being one, but I was like, oh man, when we actually got to play him from his kit, it was like, oh, actually his damage is absolutely terrible. And yeah, he's okay, but like, is he actually really that much more useful than an Ugo, for example? Like, does he really set himself apart? And I was like, you know what? Not really.
You know,
like,
that's a good point because you're right. Like just reading his kit as someone who doesn't have him, I'm like, dude, he's not bad. He's not bad at all. But you're right because like the block damage is awesome, but block damage is really awesome in the arena. You know, obviously areas like Iron Twins and stuff, you know, for sure. But you know, sometimes you'd rather have that Ugo heal, that little cleanse, you know. So I agree with you. Like, not to say that one is better than the other, but you're right. You're right. I can see that. Oh, I like that you went with somebody you got wrong that you thought was good and they ended up not being good. I have one of those too.
Yeah. Because I was excited. I was like, oh, this guy looks cool. And now I'm like, man, they could easily slap an AoE burn onto that A2 and it wouldn't hurt, you know? Like, that's fine.
Oh, I might as well go with the one that I got wrong too, that I thought was going to be good, that I'm not really... I'm kind of underwhelmed in. That's Kahn Branchbreaker, the Orc Void Lego. Dude, like I was really excited about this guy, man. He's a block revive on his A1, you know. I was excited about it. Honestly, with this whole shield dynamic that he has going on, he can hit pretty hard, you know, if everything's right with his HP and his shield. And then with the counterattack and the block revive, I'm like, dude, we got a little Embreeze on our hand here. But man, I hate to say, he's not trash, you know, like you can definitely have fun with this dude. You can definitely annoy people in the arena or whatever. So like not a total useless champion, but I do think that for them to release a new Void nowadays, I want him to be really good because it just litters the damn Void champion pool. And that's the only one we have left that has any semblance of getting a 15x or something, you know, because like, anyway, so Kahn, I really thought I'd be using him quite a bit, Faction Wars and maybe the arena, and I don't use him anywhere, man. I'm really kind of bummed out on Kahn. I think he could use a little bit more to his kit, you know?
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, when you consider how ridiculous the recent Voids have been, like Neve, Stolinar, whatever, like Kahn is definitely, he's much more of an old school, like, he's pretty good, but you know, he's not actually that crazy. He's just all right. I do use him in Faction Wars hard. He is awkward though, because the boss steals all your buffs, so you have to run him in like 9-piece protection set, so his counterattack doesn't get stolen much. It's a bit awkward.
Yeah, I was just hoping for more. I was like, I don't know why, but I was all amped up for him. I was like, yeah, Kahn, he looks so beast mode.
I think a really interesting one to revisit now, actually, with Mercurial coming out, it's Hansel and Gretel, the duo.
Ooh, okay, all right.
I think this is one that 99.99% of people really underestimated. I did a video with Fro the K. I don't know if I've mentioned it. Maybe I've mentioned it in a collab with you before. I'm not sure. Possibly I did.
I
but
think you did, man. Yeah.
There you go. But yeah, we did the collab with Fro the K, and what he did, he got both of them, and he actually upgraded them both to 6-star souls. And like he's been having like crazy success with them in live arena. For champions, I think again, almost everybody said we're not really that good, not really that useful. He invested heavily into them. And what they do is they are a modern blender team, right? A blender team. It's the ally attack with the AoE A1s. And it's just really powerful. So he had them in 6-star cracking roots blessing, which probably, again, almost nobody uses, but he got their 5-star souls from the paths that happened with the fusion. And then he saved up over a year and bought both the 6-star souls instead of upgrading Fabians or whatever. But yeah, like they could just, if the enemy team's in Stone Skin, Mikage ally attack, and those A1s just rip off the Stone Skin and delete the team. And now with Mercurial, oh, guess what? If they're in 3 stacks of total guard, no problem. Ally attack, AoE A1s, rip that thing off, and then go kill them.
It's actually really
Hansel
cool,
even
man.
has a lockout. He even has a lockout as well, a little bit.
I was not a fan of Gretel. I like Hansel, but they need, you know, I mean, but I do have a lot of respect for players out there that go a little off meta, you know, and then invest in their off meta decisions, you know, like I went against a dude in the arena and he beat me, man. And he was running a Glycia after her buff. And he was running with an all freeze team. And like, I was just like, kind of, I'm so used to the meta. And this is why you should counter Krakens with off meta choices. I'm so used to the meta that I didn't even realize what he was doing to me. But she has so much synergy with freeze now on her passive that he was rocking like a Hilvi, a Glycia, and a bunch of freeze. And I was just chain locked. I couldn't do anything. And I'm like, dude, I like this strat, man. Anyway, so yeah, props to the Hansel and Gretel and anybody out there who runs some off meta stuff. Speaking of a previous fusion who counters Mercurial, who I just think people are, when you look at the reviews on her, it's criminal, and that's Sanguine Maria, man. Sanguine Maria. I thought she was going to be like decent, basically. And in these reviews, obviously people think she sucks. You know, they're a bunch of twos. Dude, no one hits like Sanguine Maria, bro. You might need your protractor and your calculator and everything ready. And you might need to take side notes with a notepad. But players who invest in Sanguine Maria and use her a lot, you start to learn, you start to naturally pick up on when to take advantage of her kit. But she's not a champion that you're just going to be able to plug and play and really get the most out of her. But if you repeat playing with her, you have one of the most fearsome weapons in the damn game, dude. I'm sure you're nodding, so I'm sure you know, but like, she can hit almost harder than any single target damage dealer in the game if you play her correctly, and she can remove Mercurial because she has the extra turn capabilities. And man, I just think I think she's incredible. I really want a 6-star soul on her. She's on my wish list, but I'm refreshing that shop every day, hoping for my Sanguine because I want to start using her more in live arena. Just can't justify on my account without having that awakening. But man, I love this champion. Do you use her? Do you like her?
I do like her, but funny enough, I'm in the same spot as you where I was like, I should be using this champion more. What am I doing? I think it was even in the last siege we had, and I was like, oh my god, I'm so sick of these Neves. Because I like to attack all the mana shrines, and I was like, oh my god, there's another Neve. I'm like, how do I deal with this block damage? I've got so few champs that ignore block damage or stone skin or whatever. And I was like, hang on, she ignores both stone skin and block damage. That's great. Okay, cool. Now it's a bit awkward to set up, but if you do, that's insane. And she brings a lockout. That's really good. As you mentioned, she's a counter to total guard. I'm like, yeah, this champion is actually really, really good. And yeah, certainly she is awkward to use. You have to count the turns. There's a lot of brain power that is required that probably should be just represented in the base UI of the game, to be honest. Like have her mirrors light up for each turn or something, you know, lots of suggestions. Doesn't deserve those bad ratings. Like she's actually really good and could easily be sitting in players' vaults and they're going, man, I can't deal with these Neves at all. And it's like, well, there you got a nice ignore block damage champ there. Or kill that Leonardo through his stone skin, like, you know.
To your point, I agree with you that she's kind of annoying to play, but let me tell you, in the arena at least, I mean, you can just auto in Faction Wars and she's going to deal insane damage, right, for you. But in the arena, your opponent is going to have way less of a clue on her turns than you do. So you can use that to your advantage too, because it's really hard to keep track of your team and then what turn and how many buffs are on their Sanguine Dan Maria when you're going against them. So I found that it can play both ways too.
Next one I'm going to touch on is actually, I've got a couple of mythicals I could talk about. I'll talk quickly about Aphodus, the Hivelord.
Okay. He's a polarizing guy. Some people like him, some people hate him.
So yeah, I got him fairly recently and I was like, okay, I mean, he's a mythical, he's fun, but you know, not too impactful or anything. Funny enough, I love him now. He's one of my favorite champs. He's just really fun. Yeah, his base form is like if Thor and Ninja had a baby, you get Aphodus. That's a nice image for everybody.
Right.
But yeah, like he's actually great for any PvE content. He's just ripping through, doing a great job. I haven't worked him into a Chimera team because I don't like Chimera. I just auto it with my Titus team at the moment. But for actually doing Chimera, he is good for that. But yeah, so I was like, I actually liked his base form more than I expected. And funny enough, his alternate form was much different than I expected as well. And it's one of those things when you actually get to, you know, you read a champ on paper, but when you actually play with them and experience them, it can really change your opinion, especially for complex champs like this. But I was like, oh, his alternate form looks like this crowd control monster. It's going to be really useful for Faction Wars. Let's go. And funny enough, I tried it in Faction Wars, and I realized that his passive converts his attack into his defense. I was really shocked. He does really loads of damage. He smacks in his alternate form, which I did not expect. But on the flip side, the dude is like 50,000 HP. He like falls over dead at a stiff breeze. I'm like, this is not a tanky dude at all. Like all those provokes and stuff, he just dies.
Yeah, he feels like he should have a survivability mechanism on that alternate. To your point, I usually keep him in base, but
100%. Yeah,
he is handy though. If you need it in Faction Wars, especially if you're trying to manual through stages, like really nice control if you can keep him alive. You know.
Yeah, but I mean, I was expecting that alternate form to be genuinely like the go-to almost for Faction War waves. And then when I was building out my Faction War team, I can, because of Aphodus, I can farm actually stage 21, and now with Naldwa it'll be even easier. But I found out, you know, he's got such short cooldowns in his base form and he hits so hard. It was like, just leave him in the base form. And like if he gets to a turn, he just one-shots Tetsuya and it's no problem for that wave. I was like, oh, okay, I guess I won't use his alternate form anyways.
Right? Yeah, you got it there. Okay. Sometimes a good defense is a good offense, right? The shame is they gave him his buff already, and they didn't touch that alternate form. They should have touched it a little bit, you know, to your point.
I think they did make it slightly better, but no one really... Okay. I think so, yeah, but no one really uses it still, so it's hard to know. I mean, like, on paper, it looks great, but the reality is, because you have to build him for the base form, although he transfers the attack to defense, it's not what he actually needs, which is like speed and HP.
Exactly. Yeah. It's weird when you look at the mythicals, like in the game in general, it's like the really bad ones, to me, that's you kind of want the worst mythicals that haven't been buffed yet. Like Geralt, for example, like they go nuts in Galeas, right? They go nuts sometimes on these buffs. Sometimes they miss because for only did Jorah get a buff?
Jorah got buffed, yeah.
Yeah, they both got buffed already. That's kind of a bummer. Who's your other mythical?
I just wanted to briefly mention Kurosa. Interesting one. And it was really interesting actually talking to viewers in the comments, because one of my takeaways that I did not expect at all, I was like, oh, her base form is actually really strong for Faction Wars. Like, it's a great support. And I got so many comments of people saying, yeah, I tried her in Arena. She wasn't useful enough. I now have her in 9 pieces of protection. I just run her as a support for Faction Wars hard, and she's great. And I was like, okay. That took me by surprise. I was like, you know, she's good on paper, but you read her kit and you fight her as the boss in the event dungeon, and you're like, oh, this champion is really about the alternate form. It was really interesting that so many people abandoning that. And for me, I actually don't have Duchess, so she's very helpful in the base form actually for Faction Wars hard, because it's difficult enough to stay alive, and she also brings the increased attack, so she was nifty. And then the other thing with her, in her alternate form, I went in and I obviously went, okay, so her A3, she gives herself Shatter and increased crit rate for 3 turns, and then extra turn. Let's go. I build her 70% crit rate, buff up, I'm gonna smack. I tried it, it sucks. The problem is that she true fears enemies, and if they have 2 wands of submission on the team too, now,
she gets
if
stuck.
we assume that they're maxed out, 50% chance, 2 50% chances, you basically have a 75% chance. One of those at least is coming back at her instead. Now, obviously people don't have maxed out wands, but they might have more wands on the team, etc. But at least half the time, she's getting true feared instead, and then she misses her turn, and you're pulling your hair out. It's the most frustrating thing. I actually found her A2 is incredible. Steal all buffs, do a huge nuke, great. Actually works better. Just build her 100% crit rate. Don't even use the A3. Just go straight into that A2. And she's like way better, man.
Maybe a mercurial candidate as well.
So I have seen some comments about that as well, because I did a few videos on her in a row, actually. I was having a lot of fun testing her out. And yeah, some people are saying she's actually insane with mercurial. It helps her problem, which is in the base form, in arena. In her base form, she actually dies like really fast. She's not tanky at all in the base form. Her buffs get removed super easily. And then in the alternate form, yeah, she can't use her A3 properly. And yeah, apparently mercurial fixes all of that.
Yep.
I don't know if she'll hit hard enough in the alternate form, but if you do give her mercurial, it means that you could just give her like a cat's gaze, or if you have a mythical damage relic, you could give her one of those, and that could counter it out. So she's one I need to go back to again to be like, okay, let's try that build. Does that make the champion actually work? Which is always an interesting thing.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. If they, I mean, this is a major buff, but if they had that taunt, fortify, or unkillable protected on the base form, it would change everything, because then you could use her as a base form. You could build her in mercurial for base, but then use her as like a last resort nuker on the transfer. But unfortunately, that's not the case. I have one more, man, and it's actually a really, really insanely good champion. I'm not saying that I thought he was bad, but I didn't think he would be this good, and that's good old Donatello. Like, I mean, everybody was big on Donnie, but I really think he's like one of the best supports in the game, like for legendary champions. And like, it's all there right in front of your face. It's not a shocker. But I think, like, I didn't see the high resistance builds coming. I didn't see him being a counter to every lockout for the most part coming. I just didn't value this properly. I didn't value high enough the synergy between the I got you bro passive, the big turn meter boost, the full cleanse, the cooldown, the increased speed, all in one champion, man. Like, he is just like, I think it's like sometimes when a champion's available to everybody's a Ninja Turtle and all like this noise around him. I think if his name was Vargal or something, right? I would be like, have more appreciation. But for whatever reason, the noise around him or whatever it was, I'm just making excuses here, I didn't think he would be, or that he was going to be this good. And I think that Donnie is really, like, I think he's so good. I think he's better than Leo, because Leo's more conditional on having turtles around him. That's my controversial statement. Obviously, it's situational. If I had to choose a turtle, just one, I would go Donnie.
Yeah, I actually 100% agree. He's now in my best teams for Arena. Like, he's made his way in there. So, you know, he counters Fabian. You can just reset your skills. Great. He's so good. Protect you from all those nasty debuffs. Great. The cheat death. He's such a pain in the ass as well for people. If you run him with mercurial champions and they finally take the total guard off and then they try kill you, and it's like,
yeah, dude. Yeah, he's just, I thought he was going to be really good, and he's great. He might be a fusion when they bring back fusions worth getting if someone missed him, you know?
That would be a good one. Like, the Turtles definitely seems like one that they might bring back. It was so popular. And like, there's loads of other cool characters they could bring back with the Turtles, and they could buff Shredder if they redid it, you know? They could do fun stuff. But like, the Turtles are, I think you asked me at the start of the video, like, quick thoughts on Assassin's Creed. I mean, like, the Assassin's Creed, it definitely compared to the Turtles is pretty underwhelming, because the Turtles were so crazy. But I think even if you bring them back in a few months' time, they're so good together. And Donnie is so good on his own. I do agree, the others on their own aren't anything special. Mikey's quite good. Leo really needs other turtles, and then he's absolutely disgusting if you've got the full team.
I mean, Leo's still nice on his own, don't get me wrong. Like, I use him in Grim Forest all the time solo, and I'm always happy with it. But like, man, that Donnie, bro, I love that Donnie.
Yeah, he's genuine. I think I've moved him up on my tier list, or I'm thinking about it. It's like S tier. Like, he actually is. Yeah. He's so much better. Yeah, as you said, he's so good. I want to just quickly mention Senna, and that I can call it there.
There we go.
I think Senna first came out.
No one saw that coming. No one saw her being that elite, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And like, it's one of the things that often I think does read very badly in the kit, or it's difficult to visualize the impact, is turn meter boost. Like, you know, whenever continuous heal buff activates on an ally, everyone gets 5% turn meter. Like, okay, sounds nice, not that crazy. But obviously, you know, you've seen the clan boss teams. It's absolutely bonkers what this champ can do, especially with someone like what's the bar? Operdon Clan Father or Androck or whatever.
Oh yeah, those turn meters, insane. Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah.
So yeah, I saw this champ and I was like, she doesn't seem that good. And nowadays I'd say she's probably the best Void Reviver, though I'm loving Raglin at the moment as well. But like Senna is probably overall the best Void Reviver.
I love Raglin too, man. I love Raglin. But I'll say Hilvy's up there too, I would say. You know, another
Another she's not Void though, but yeah, Hilvy is up there. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said Revivers. My bad. Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, but funny, one of my favorite arena teams at the moment is Predator. Disgusting, obviously, but it's the Mercurial Raglin with the Donatello as well. I mean, I've got a Nell in there with Mercurial just to be super obnoxious, but the Raglin and Donatello and Predator, and it's like, man, you throw Fabian at that, and it's like, Raglin can't get locked out. Predator dodges it half the time, and even if he does get locked out, he just gets reset by Donatello anyway, and they're all a pain to kill. It's a disgusting.
Oh, the resets on resets, man. It's nasty. Yeah. She is. I'm with you on Raglin. Another combo for another day. But holy moly, I love Raglin. Even the A1, even just getting a boost out of her. Like so many things you can do with her. That passive now. That was a great buff. All right, hey, we're gonna continue the conversation on Nub's channel, guys. You're gonna go talk about power creep and Raid Shadow Legends. So the fun doesn't have to stop here. Go ahead and join us there. Nubs, thanks for coming on, man. Appreciate it.
Hey, it's always a pleasure. Cheers. Thanks so much.
Of course. Thank you. Thank you guys for watching till the end. Much love. And as always, take care, guys.